Well, hello, and welcome to another little bit of positive balance in an uncertain world with Therapy Ted and me. Today, interestingly, we do have an issue title, and it's I Deserve to Be Well. So, at some level, those of you watching today will not believe that you deserve to be well, which is not great, is it really? Some of you may really resonate with this, and some it may be a little bit more like, no, don't really think so. No, I think I do believe I deserve to be well. So it may be coming through an ancestral line, which is just pulling at the kind of your underpinnings, so to speak. So, but it's very good to get rid of these things. So it's a karmic essence, and Therapy Ted, I will pop him here so he is in view of you all. And we do have an energy remedy on the body. So this is a karmic essence, and it's wild orchid, and it's for uncertainty. So we've had this one before, right at the very start of the whole choosing to stay at home period, or the great pause, as I heard it a couple of weeks ago, which I quite like actually. So wild orchid is for uncertainty, and as human beings, we're not great with uncertainty. We like to be certain about things, and again, some people handle it better than others, but as a general rule, we kind of like to know where our feet are planted. And whether it's about being more ticking all the right boxes, making sure that, we're sticking within the rules, generally speaking. We don't like it when everything's shifting. I'm not sure, but certainly as a species, we prefer certainty. So we have the wild karmic essence on the body. So Therapy Ted has got hold of that. And if you want to close your eyes, if you want to, or soft focus on Therapy Ted and start to go into this balance now, then that's absolutely fine, because obviously we've already set this up. So the energies are already working. I'm now going through them. Or if you want to wait until I get to the end of putting all the harmonics in place, then that's absolutely fine too. And obviously, as before, if you feel like you need to yawn or sigh or move because something's feeling tight or a bit uncomfortable, then just do that. So we have a quantum kinesiology balance. We do have energy permission to use the emotional stress release points and to hold them with the Cosbacks. And that's going to be on the sacral chakra. Now, the sacral chakra is around about your tummy button, and that is to do with your emotions and also your creativity. So I deserve to be well. Interestingly, I thought this might be on the solar plexus chakra, which is more to do with the immune system. So maybe it's more to do with us it's the emotions around this rather than the physical around this. The very first harmonic is an original trigger, and it's unresolved conflicts. Obviously, these will be different for all of us, and some of us may have more than others, but unresolved conflicts. We then go into a past life, or past lives, could be plural, and this is energetic scars remain. So this is that there are things that happen to you in your past life that have left a scar on an energy level. So we're going to remove those so that you have a chance of healing that in this life. We then move on to a survival mechanism, and this is shock. As we've talked about in previous balances, if we get shocked, it can really resonate through our bodies. And generally speaking, this is dealt with at the end of whatever the event is that's created the shock. But sometimes the shock can be actually quite severe, and this can leave like a ricochet going through the body. Sometimes it can be so severe there can be actually almost like a fragmenting of the energy body, and that's really not great. I've had a client in the past who, when I explained this to them, said they actually felt slightly disconnected, as if they were kind of somehow half out of their body and half in the body. And as the balance went into place, they felt that part sort of slide back in and everything just seemed to be much better after that for them, both health-wise and emotionally. And we have another survival mechanism. This one is sabotage. And oh my goodness, if we could just get rid of all the sabotages that we have in our systems, we'd all be so much healthier and so much happier. And these are coming from varied pieces of ancestral programming. So again, it's not even stuff that you've kind of picked up in this lifetime. It's stuff that you've inherited from those pesky ancestors again. We then move into two headings, two harmonics, which are under the heading of emotions. And the first one, we didn't have to find out what the emotions were, but it's limiting comments by authority. Now, this will be something that has happened to you where somebody who you've perceived to be in authority has said something to you which has limited you. So somebody has said something like, oh, you'll never amount to very much, or you're not very good at maths, or your handwriting is really not good, or you're not very X, Y, and Z, fill in the blank. And if you, as a young child, when we believe what adults tell us, especially certain adults, have taken that on board as an absolute truth, then you are running that piece of programming that says that you are not. And it could be that maybe somebody said when you were a child, oh, they're always a bit sickly, they're not very strong, they're not very robust. And, you know, that's not great, is it? It's not a good piece of programming. We want to be robust, we want to be strong. So let's just drop that so we can move on and we can allow our bodies to be other than where we've been up till now. The second thing is an avoidance or denial of issue. And again, we all have these. So this is to do with the fact we don't want to look there. We don't want to go back and open that box because it might be too painful, or it might be that we'd find out something that we really don't want to know. Interestingly, our imagination is nearly always worse than the reality. And when we do look inside those boxes, we kind of go, what? I've been worried about what? Or it can be bad, but it's not as bad as you thought it was. So anyway, there are two emotions here. Now, these are quite important because it's shame and guilt. Now, in the hierarchy of emotions, and we've got joy, bliss all at the top, and we go all the way down to all the negative emotions. And right at the bottom is guilt and then shame. The general consensus is that energetically, shame is the most damaging energetically to our bodies. So we could really do with getting rid of any feelings of shame or any feelings of guilt, because that's just above it. What I found most interesting when I read this, which was things that we think of as being much more damaging, like hate or anger, things like that. No, they're higher up because they've got a positive as well as a negative element to them. Whereas shame and guilt, no, we need to get rid of shame. Guilt, there's very little about guilt that's really good for you, unless you've done something really awful, maybe, and maybe you should feel a little bit guilty. But then you feel the guilt, and then you rectify whatever it is, and then you drop the guilt. The problem comes is if we hold on to that because we haven't rectified whatever it was. So we've got this avoidance or denial of issue. And some of us may not even be aware of this. It may be so deeply buried. It may be, it's been inherited, an ancestral link as well. It may be something that's coming through from past lives, but it's this life that we're going to deal with it. And the nice thing about dealing with ancestral stuff, as most of you know, is not only we deal with all the back lot going back here, but we can also remove it from the down line if it's appropriate for them, okay, for them not to have whatever that baggage is. Then we have a very final harmonic, which is ancestral healing, those pesky ancestors, and it's repeating issues. So again, for all of us, this will be something different, but everything will be under this umbrella of I deserve to be well. So there's a repeating issue, potentially, around why you don't believe that, why you don't believe that you deserve to be well. Okay, now I am going to pop the Cosvax on Therapy Ted. There he is, he's there. And he has all the paperwork, so he's kind of good to go. Now, what I want you to do is I want you all, if you haven't closed your eyes already or soft focus, I want you to do that now. And I want you all to think, I deserve to be well. Whoa, no, we do not believe that at all. So what I want you also to do is recognize when you think that, what's your body telling you? Is it going, yeah, of course I believe it, which I actually don't believe? Or is it in some level going, no, I don't believe that. On some level, I don't deserve to be well. Okay, hold that thought. I'm going to put a little bit of music on, and then we're going to let this balance do its and work its magic. I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And keep focusing inwards whilst you continue to think, I deserve to be well. Now, for those of you who may have some health conditions, I also want you to kind of focus on those at the same time as thinking, I deserve to be well. If there's particular parts of your body that don't work particularly well, then focus on those. And very kindly tell them that you deserve to be well. We're not being angry here. We're being kind. Remember that everything that happens to our body is a result of what we do to it. Unless you get hit by a bus, of course. But everything else is either genetic, just a very small amount, or it's lifestyle. So if we treat our bodies a little bit better with the right sorts of foods, enough liquid, and enough mental health as well, then our bodies can actually perform an awful lot better if we take these stresses off them. If you don't particularly have anything wrong with you, or that you perceive is wrong, then just go inside and just have a bit of an inventory. Just kind of work down from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, and just check in with all those bits and just sort of see whether there is anything where you feel that maybe things aren't quite as good as you thought they were, and maybe you need to be being a little kinder to your body. And remember, we're not bringing any shame into this or any guilt. Every day is a new day. Every day is a learning day. And if we're running large pieces of programming that are sabotaging, it's quite hard sometimes to be following very healthy practices. If you've got a piece of programming that's running that says that you don't deserve things, and that makes you feel quite sad. And then it can be quite hard sometimes to sort of stick to that healthy eating plan, or make sure you drink that water, or do the work required to de-stress and relax. Take a step back sometimes, get some fresh air, all the things that we know is good, but sometimes life just gets in the way. So go back inside, think, I deserve to be well. Feel how much more solid that is as a thought. Some of you may need to revisit this one again if you feel it's not really kind of hooking on. But you can continue after this video is finished, just sitting there and just continuing to think. This Therapy TED will continue to work for you if you need it. Okay, Therapy TED says he's done here. In fact, no, I will leave him running here just in case. I think there are a few of you who may just need to continue with this, and I'm just getting very aware of how long this video is actually getting. So Therapy TED and I will say goodbye for today. If you'd like to share this with anybody else you feel might benefit from it, then please do, and please comment below if you've had to stay on longer, or if you felt like it was, yeah, I'm done, this is really good. All right, bye bye from us, from a little bit of positive balance in an uncertain world.